What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my betting breakdown video for UFC Austin. We have Calvin Kattar going against Josh Emmett.
I need all the wins, yeah. Harder than all that is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
And we are back breaking down a 14-fight card. Cannot wait for it. This is going to be out early. This is going to be kind of a shorter video. I'm going to try to get through it as fast as possible. I have to catch my flight in a couple hours. Have kind of a long drive to the airport. I'm going to be attending the fights in UFC Austin. Looking forward to being there live. Should be a very, very fun card. 14 fights, 14 bangers, really, outside of a couple fights here or there that I'm not too excited about. We'll talk about those. But yeah, definitely looking forward to the card. Looking forward to keep it rolling here. You know, kind of lucked out, I guess, if you will, last week in terms of the main event finishing with like 28 seconds left. That saved my night. It was almost a 5-unit swing, that main event finishing. But, you know, let's be real. I'm shocked that fight even went to the 5th round. So was able to cash that and hopefully cash some tickets here. I think I have like 7 or 8 bets. Kind of a lightish card for me in terms of the unit sizes, but 2 plays I'm pretty heavy on, and yeah, we'll talk about all those. Before we get started, guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and if you do want a further, more in-depth breakdown on why I like which fighter, why I'm betting what, I did post a full card breakdown video earlier in the week. I went live on the MMA Engine channel for my final thoughts, talked to the chat a little bit, and did a lot of content throughout the week, so it should be good there. We'll quickly go through this. Like I said, first fight of the night, Kyle Daukaus, Roman Dolidze. And we have Kyle Daukaus minus 265 and Roman Dolidze plus 225. So this is a fight, and like most fights on the card, like I like a lot of these favorites. I just think a lot of these lines are very wide. Like I know people are saying this is Parlayville, you know, parlay everything up on this card, and I can't even find 2 parlay pieces I like. I mean, I really like a couple spots, I guess, but do I want to parlay Cody Stamann at minus 600? Do I want to parlay Kevin Holland at minus 300? I mean, I think they win, but my goodness, these lines are just kind of nuts this week. So no parlays for me. I'm going to do some like fun, you know, parlays, you know, that stuff, some lunch money on it. But nothing crazy in terms of the parlays this week. And Kyle Daukaus, I think he wins. Minus 265 can get there. I think the fight goes to decisions. Interesting. Me and Weezy talked about this on probability. The minus 120, both guys very tough. Both guys very good grapplers. I think it kind of cancels out. I think this fight could be somewhat competitive as well. And I think their toughness carries this a long way and goes to decision there. Could be kind of sketchy late if Dolidze does slow down, does gas out. But I think fight goes to decision would be the one spot I would look at if I was to bet on this fight. But yeah, no bet on me. No bet for me on the very first fight of the night. Pick Daukaus, but no bet there. Next we have Phil Haas going against Deron Winn. Just watched Deron Winn weigh in. He was the very last one to weigh in. 5'6" middleweight. Deron Winn needed the box. He made weight. He did not look great, to be honest. This is a fight I've been saying all week. I think it's a terrible matchup for Deron Winn. Deron Winn's somebody that wants to take you down. He wants to grind you out. And Phil Haas on paper 100% takedown defense, wrestling background. I think he stuffs the takedowns of Deron Winn and just knocks this guy out in the very first round. Gerald Mearshart was piecing up Winn for 2.5 rounds. He was hurting Winn. He hurt him bad in that 3rd round. And they ended up getting submitted. Like, if Gerald Mearshart's rocking you, hurting you, like, what is Phil Haas going to do? Phil Haas hits like a truck. So, bad matchup for Winn. Haas, much bigger. Haas, an actual middleweight. Deron Winn's 5'6". I'm not even convinced he's 5'6" at this point. I think Haas knocks him out in the first round. I have a bet on this fight. I took the fight doesn't go earlier in the week at minus 120. I have 1 unit on that. The reason I did that, there wasn't much difference between the price of the fight doesn't go at the time, between that and Phil Haas inside the distance. I think at this point, because money has came in on that fight doesn't go, it's now minus 155, minus 160. I think I would just take Haas inside the distance, but I did take the fight doesn't go. Kind of covers both sides there. Covers a Deron Winn knockout. I don't want to completely roll out a Deron Winn knockout. Phil Haas, extremely chinny and extremely gassy as well. So don't like the gas tank of Deron Winn. Don't like the chin of don't like the gas tank of Phil Haas. Don't like the chin of Phil Haas. And there's no way I'd lay minus 260 on Phil Haas, but I do think he starches Winn in the very first round. I don't hate Haas inside the distance at plus money, and I don't mind that fight doesn't go to kind of cover both sides there if Haas does get knocked out. We've seen him knocked out multiple times at this point. He's been finishing all of his losses. Even that sub loss, I believe, was a club and sub back in the day as well. So his chin's not great, and anything can happen. But yeah, I think Haas inside the distance. Haas round 1, all solid looks, and then like I said, I have a 1 unit bet on the fight doesn't go minus 120. Cody Stamann, Eddie Wineland. Cody Stamann is now minus 600 across the most books. And yeah, I mean, I would not recommend laying minus 600 on Cody Stamann, but I do think he wins. And he's talking about going out there and getting a finish. And I feel like this is a trap, honestly. This is why I didn't go heavy on it. But I did put a quarter unit sprinkle on Cody Stamann to win by knockout at plus 270. I mean, if he doesn't not finish Eddie Wineland here, he'll probably never get another finish in his entire career. Like, this is they're trying to get Cody Stamann, first of all, a win, but a finish as well. First of all, this is like a big step down in competition from Cody Stamann, going from guys like Song Yadong, Aljamain Sterling, like guys like that, to going and fighting 38-year-old Eddie Wineland, who just got knocked out by John Castaneda, who I'm not even sure is UFC caliber. So yeah, I like Cody Stamann. I like Cody Stamann to knock out Eddie Wineland. I know it's crazy to talk about Cody Stamann going out there and finishing somebody. I know he's a decisionator, but if he's going to ever get a finish in the rest of his life, it's going to be in this spot. So quarter unit sprinkle on Cody Stamann by KO. You cannot be confident in this, but that was the one thing I was eyeing all week, and I don't hate a shot in that Cody Stamann by knockout. All right, moving on, and we have Gloria DePaula going against Maria Oliveira. We have, there's two 1-800 gambler fights on the card. This is the first one. I like DePaula. The more I look into it, I like DePaula more, but at the end of the day, how confident can you be in a fight like this? You just can't be. I stopped betting on these fights a long time ago, and it's been working out phenomenally. Laying chalk on DePaula in the spot just is not the best idea in the world. There's no props that stick out. Nothing sticks out here. I would not bet this fight. I'm not betting this fight. DePaula should win. I don't think Oliveira is UFC caliber. I don't know what she's really good at. I think DePaula is better striking, wrestling, grappling. I think DePaula has a clear path to victory. Just take this fight down to the mat. Oliveira, no takedown defense, no get-up game. DePaula should cruise here, but again, how confident can you be in a fight like this? You can't be. Ricardo Ramos, Danny Chavez. Ramos minus 265. Another case of, I like the favorite, but I don't like the minus 265 there. I think this could play out a little more competitive than the line does indicate, but I like the fact that Ramos is younger. He's much bigger. He's going to have a reach advantage. I like the volume of Ramos, and Chavez is a guy that's just very low volume. He throws with a ton of power, so maybe he could hurt Ramos. We've seen Ramos hurt before. We've seen him knocked out a couple times, but outside of that, I think Ramos does kind of cruise here to a decision. If anything, Ramos by decision minus 130, improve the price tag a little bit, would be where I looked. I think I saw like minus 105 out there for Ramos by decision. But I don't have a bet on this fight. Jeremiah Wells, Court McGee, about to pick him here. I don't have a bet on this fight as well. A lot of people really on either side here. I see a lot of Court McGee love, a lot of Wells love. I like Court McGee here, but I don't want to completely count out Jeremiah Wells. Jeremiah Wells is absolutely no joke. This guy hits like a truck. I believe he's a black belt in BJJ, and he's also training at Renzo Gracie Philly with guys like Pat Sabatini, Sean Brady, Andre Petrosky, guys like that. And those guys, those group of 4 guys from Renzo Gracie Philly are actually 14-0 thus far in the UFC. So if Wells does lose, it's going to be Renzo Gracie Philly's first loss there, which is interesting. They've been on fire. Wells, what I don't like about him is he's not the most technical striker in the world. He does throw with a lot of power, but not with much technique. He kind of just goes out there and wings hard shots, and it works. Maybe I don't think it works at this. I don't think it's going to work in this fight though against Court McGee, who's going to be the much more technical striker, much more experienced, fought the better competition, and I think Wells' path to victory is an early finish, and Court McGee's very tough to finish. Court McGee only one finish loss in his entire career by knockout. Other than that, 9 decision losses. So I lean towards Court McGee. Lean towards Court McGee by decision. Not betting this fight, but it picks Court McGee there. Jasmine Jasdovic is going against Natalia Silva. This is the second 1-800 gambler fight on the card, but I did it. I actually have a bet on this fight. Terrified about it. I was not planning on betting this fight, but there was a line that just stuck out like a sore thumb, and it's still there as we speak. Natalia Silva scorecards equals no action is plus 160 on BetOnline. So the scorecards equals no action means that if the fight goes to decision, the bet is voided, which I think is probably the most likely scenario. If Jasmine Jasdovic wins inside the distance, the bet loses, and if Natalia Silva wins inside the distance, the bet wins. Natalia Silva, 92% finish rate, Jasmine around a 40, like a 7% finish rate, and then you see that, Silva's been finished in 3 of her 5 losses, but you take a look at when those finished losses happened, and they're back in 2015. And I want to remind you that Silva is a 25-year-old fighter, so she was like 17, 18 at the time when she was getting finished. So if there's a finish in this fight, I just think it's more so from the Silva side. I think it's like an armbar from guard type situation. I'm not sold on Jasmine's grappling, and I think Jasmine wins. I think size is going to play a factor here, but nobody should be confident in this fight. I mean, Jasmine, I'm not completely sold on her, and Natalia Silva, I'm not sold on her as well. But the last time we saw her was almost 2 years ago. So, and she's now 25, so we could see some improvements from Silva. She's finished her last 5 fights by submission. I think that scorecards equals no action is a solid look. If you absolutely have to bet on this fight, I would not recommend betting on this fight, but I ended up pulling the trigger. Only a half unit. I typically go a unit on this play, but this is a fight I don't want to be extremely involved in, but that line made no sense to me. Adrian Yanez going against Tony Kelly. Tony Kelly did miss weight by 1.5 pounds. Did not look great, to be honest. I like Giannis here. The line's been coming down. I see Giannis minus 255, so lots of love for Tony Kelly, lots of money coming in. And I kind of understand. I think this fight's going to be closer than the line does indicate. I did not mind that over 1.5 as a parlay piece. I think the fight starts round 2 as a parlay piece is good as well. Giannis is a very slow starter. I do think if there's a finish, it's going to be mid-second, late second, third round as well. Tony Kelly, very tough, never been knocked out. Good change here potentially. Giannis does hit very hard, but yeah, I mean, the problem was I liked it over 1.5 as a parlay piece, but I just could not find another parlay piece to really go with it. I was thinking maybe Kevin Holland, but that price kind of got away, so no play here, but I don't mind that over 1.5. The fight starts round 2 as a parlay piece. I know people betting that fight goes to decision at plus money. I'm not going to quite get there, but I think it's a decent look. Both guys never been finished. I know a lot of people on that Tony Kelly by decision, which is a decent look. If it does go to decision, I think it's going to be competitive, but this is a fight I'm going to stay away from. I don't want to completely rule out the Giannis knockout. Like, he could absolutely knock out Tony Kelly. Tony Kelly, very hittable, 45% striking defense. Giannis hits very hard. And then if Tony Kelly did have a bad weight cut, which kind of looked like he did, would not be shocked if Giannis knocked this guy out. So, pass for me. Line's coming in. Don't see me getting involved, but the picks Giannis there. Gregory Rodriguez going against Julian Marquez. Yeah, I feel like Rodriguez has all the tools to win this fight. I feel like he has all the tools to look like a big favorite here, just whether he chooses to use them. We saw Maki Batola go out there and ragdoll Julian Marquez for 2.5 rounds until he got submitted there. Why can't Rodriguez, who's a much better grappler than Maki Patolo, go out there and do the same thing? We saw in his last fight, Rodriguez took to the second round to even go for a takedown against Petrosyan. Like, that was not a good sign to me. I mean, if he goes out there and fights smart, I think he cruises here. Like, even if he doesn't fight smart, I think he wins. I think he's the better striker. I think he's better everywhere. But, if you're going out there and striking, getting into a war with Marquez, like, you don't want to test your chin against a guy like Marquez, who has a very, very good chin. And Rodriguez does not. Rodriguez has been hurt multiple times, wobbled multiple times, knocked out twice. So I think if Rodriguez goes out there and looks for takedown, yeah, he's going to look like a big favorite here. I just don't know if I can trust him. So another fight I'm fine with passing on. If anything, I'd be taking a shot on some of those Marquez prop sprinkles there. But just don't see me getting involved with this fight. But it should be a fun one. Damir Ismagulov going against Guram Kudrtaladze. Nothing here as well. I kind of missed the line. So they had Damir sitting at minus 148 for like a day. Did not pull the trigger because I wanted to see the weigh-ins, and Damir did weigh in. He did not look great, but he did not look like extremely horrible. I thought he looked okay. But the line just got away. I mean, a lot of people on Guram, the line's kind of going the other way. It looks like Damir is now like minus 170, minus 180 around that area. So kind of missed the boat there. But, and yeah, I mean, did Damir have a bad weight cut? I'm not sure. Like I said, I didn't think he looked amazing on the scale. He didn't look amazing in his last fight. His last fight where he was supposed to fight back in like last October, he missed weight by 7.5 pounds. I don't know. I mean, I think Damir is better everywhere. I think Damir should go out there and clearly out-volume Guram. Guram very low volume. Guram more powerful. I think this fight does go to decision, so you got to worry about the judges as well. I think I'm going to sit back and watch this one. Yeah, if the line comes back down, I'll take a shot on Damir around minus 150. I just don't know if it gets back there. It looks like the line kind of got away. Albert Drive going against Joaquin Buckley. I do have a 2-unit play on the fight. Doesn't go to decision, minus 190. I still see like a minus 180 out there on Caesars. I think it's a really good violent spot here. Albert Drive has been finished in all 3 of his losses. Joaquin Buckley finished in 3 of his 4. Duraev, very, very chinny. I mean, this is a guy that got dropped in his last fight. This is a guy that got knocked out by Ramazan Ameev, and I know that fight was like 10 years ago, but still, terrible look. It was like in a minute and a half as well. I don't trust Duraev's chin. I don't trust his fight IQ. It took him until getting dropped in his last fight to finally go for a takedown. Not a good sign there. I think Buckley's very live for a knockout at any point in this fight. But with that said, if Duraev does get this fight down to the mat, Duraev's ground game is absolutely no joke. Great ground and pound, great submission game. I think Duraev has all the tools to finish Buckley on the mat, but I think that the fight doesn't go, covers both sides, and we're getting a good discount on it. We saw that Duraev did go to decision in his last fight. I thought the fight very well could have been stopped on multiple occasions. He got into mount with like 3 minutes left in that second round, was pounding away. Probably could have been stopped, honestly. And then Buckley went to decision in his last fight against Abdulrazak Al-Hassan. Nobody was expecting that. So therefore, we get a discount on this price of the fight doesn't go to decision. Both guys finished combined 6 of 7 losses. Yeah, sign me up here. 2-unit play minus 190, and there's actually a better line out there as we speak. Kevin Holland, Tim Means. Kevin Holland like minus 340 on FanDuel. I see. You don't want to be laying chalk like that on Kevin Holland. It's hard to trust the fight IQ, and I'll tell you right now, if Kevin Holland is not finished Tim Means, he's not going to look like a big favorite, but I do think he finishes Tim Means, and I do have a half-unit bet on Kevin Holland inside the distance on FanDuel. They had it at plus 185 earlier in the week. I'm not sure if that line is still there. As far as I'm concerned, it is, but on DraftKings, they have plus 165, and on Caesars, they have plus 175, so still some very good lines out there on Kevin Holland to win inside the distance. Tim Means finished in 7 of his losses, 5 by sub, 2 by knockout. I know FanDuel opened up the submission prop at plus 1,400 for Kevin Holland as well for some reason. If you got on that, I think that was a good look. But yeah, Kevin Holland inside the distance, I think it's much better than laying minus 300. I don't like how Tim Means is now 38 years old. He's taken a ton of damage throughout his career. I don't like how he's reacting to shots nowadays. I think Kevin Holland hurts him bad and finishes him. So instead of laying minus 300 on Tim Means, I think the inside the distance at plus money is definitely the way to go. Next, we have Donald Cerrone, Joe Lozon. I do have 2 bets on this fight. I have 2 units on the fight. Doesn't go to decision, minus 182. I still think it's bettable at the current line. It's around minus 200. And then I also have a quarter unit sprinkle on Joe Lozon. I think both these guys are done. I think both these guys are checked out. We have not seen Lozon in over 2 years. We've not seen Cerrone in quite a while as well, since he got knocked out by Morono. I don't think Cerrone really wants to be here, especially. Like, I would not be shocked if Lozon went out there and rushes in and tries to finish him like he does, like he's going to, and then Cerrone kind of looking for the door. Like, I would not be shocked if that happened as well. If Cerrone does survive the first couple minutes, if it does get extended, I heavily favor Cerrone. I don't think Lozon's going to be able to survive. I mean, Clay Guida dropped him and finished him as of late. Chris Grutzmacher finished him as well. Cerrone should finish Joe Lozon after the fight gets extended. I just don't know if it does get extended. And if it doesn't, it's probably a Lozon early finish. I could see Cerrone just going in there and really kind of quitting in there. I really, really question if Cerrone even wants to be here at this point. He's not won a fight in years. And I took a quarter unit shot on Joe Lozon to win inside the first round at plus 650, and it's still plus 600. I think that's a pretty solid look. It actually opened up like plus 700 as well. But yeah, Joe Lozon, I think he's have a good opportunity to win in the very first couple minutes. If not, I think he gets finished in his own right. But I think Fight Doesn't Go kind of covers both sides there in my favorite play of the night. Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett. I like Kattar here. I like the volume. He's bigger. He's longer. I think he can go out there and really piece up Josh Emmett. I think he puts it on him, puts a pace on him, and eventually actually finishes Emmett down the stretch. I think the 3, 4, 5 sprinkles for Kattar are definitely in play. I know a lot of people doing those. I think the 4-5 decision for Kattar is not the worst look in the world, but I do have a bet on this fight. I have the fight ends in KO on DraftKings Sportsbook, half a unit at plus 130. The Fight Doesn't Goes around minus 110, so you're getting a little bit of a better price there with that fight ends in KO. I don't really see either guy going out there and getting a submission. I don't see either guy going for takedowns. I think it's going to be 25 minutes of standing and banging, and although both guys are very durable, both these guys hit like absolute trucks. I think a finish is definitely on the table here, and plus 130 fight ends in KO. I don't think that's the worst look in the world, but yeah, sorry guys, kind of rushed through this one. I'm in a extremely big hurry. I don't want to miss my flight, but quickly going to go through my bets. And I have 2 units on the Cerrone, Fight Doesn't Go minus 182. I have 2 units on the Buckley, Fight Doesn't Go minus 190. I have Phil Hawes, Deron Winn, Fight Doesn't Go minus 120, 1 unit on that. Calvin Kattar, Josh Emmett, Fight Ends in KO, half a unit plus 130, half a unit on Holland inside the distance plus 185. Half a unit on Natalia Silva, scorecards equals no action, finish only, plus 130. And then a quarter unit on Lozon round 1, quarter unit on Cody Stamann. Best of luck, everybody. Leave a like on your way out. Subscribe. Check me out on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Instagram, DFS by the numbers. And we'll talk to y'all very soon. Let's keep on cashing some tickets. See you guys.